This is actually what happened in the matchups last week. Oh, hello. Welcome to the Why Do Boys Make podcast. It's episode 13. And is that an omen for what's to come? I am Corby, and I am very confused. And I am also your host this week. With me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Fitzy. Fitzy, how are you doing?
You know, I'm feeling lucky this week, despite week 13. Despite the skid of all skids to put me here on the bubble, I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling excited, and I'm feeling, we were lonely at the top. We were lonely in the comment section this week, but I don't feel so lonely on the pod today.
No, I don't either. Speaking of skids, I've got a great friend with us today, a fun guest, not a current member of the Why Do Boys Play Games Fantasy Football League. No. He is a past member, a founding member of the league, and he was one and done. Well, folks, please welcome to the podcast my good friend, Steven Oleksak. Steven, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me today. Shonne, it's good to see you again. Don't let the smile and the Bills gear fool you. I'm not feeling too great today, I'll be honest with you. It was a tough 8 hours of work knowing what went down last night, but we're here. We're going to do it. And I'm going to offer really insightful and thoughtful comments about the fantasy season this year.
Great. We're very excited to have you, and we're going to cut right to it. We're going to start off with the questions as we do. So the first question that everyone gets asked: why do boys play games?
I don't know. That's a good question. We've been trying to answer that for 8 or 9 years now. I was hoping I would come here to find an answer, but if you guys are asking me, I think we're shit out of luck.
True.
To me, it's all about the climb. It's the search for finding why we play the game involves playing the game, right? So we just got to keep playing it until we figure it out.
Yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
That's right. Now, Steve, because you were a founding member of the league, I've got a couple of questions about that time in your life.
Let's hear them.
I just wanted to start right off. I don't recall. Did you decide that you wanted out of the league, or were you forced out?
It was a little bit of both. I came out so strong my first year that I was basically chased out of the league. We needed more equal representation for players with less skill, less knowledge of the industry and the game. And I bowed out with grace, I like to think. I left a trail of destruction in my wake, but do what you got to do.
Certainly graceful. Although, yeah, you did have a historically bad squad in this league back in 2013. That year, the top scoring team was Colin with 2,574. You had 1 point shy of 1,000 fewer than him on the year. Now, Steve, I'm not here to roast you. I'm here to test your memory a little bit. Do you remember who Hakeem Nicks is?
It seems I've been caught in a lie. Well, Hakeem Nicks was a triathlete, I believe. Actually, he was well known in bicycling, Tour de France. He was knocked out of that in a 50-50 bike pileup. And then he moved on to minor league baseball. He played for the Norwich Navigators, I believe, for like 2 years back in 08, 09. And then he was drafted to time escapes me. No, I don't know who Hakeem Nicks is.
Okay. How about Jarrett Boykin?
Oh my God.
That's a familiar name. I think he used to drink at the Leaf with
me.
Class of 2012?
Last one. Do you remember Bobby Rainey?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm here to reveal that these were all players who were on your team when you got your only win ever in the Why Do Boys Play Games League against me. I am the only person who's not allowed to make fun of your team that year. So, Steve, it's a safe space here on the pod today.
Oh, I do appreciate that. That's a very friendly gesture, guys.
Moving on from here, let's go to something very near and dear to all of our hearts: video games. Steven, what's your favorite game, regardless of what year it came out, that you played this year in 2020?
Dark Souls 1. I played it in 2012, I played it in 2013, and I played it every year since. And I did play it this year.
So it's still the best game that you played this year?
Well, I'm not going to come on here and talk RuneScape. So, yeah, we'll say Dark Souls. Let's be amicable.
Okay, all right. Well, let's keep going here then. All right, what's your favorite food crime that you've committed?
Just about a month ago, we had a lot of friends go to a really nice steakhouse, and I opted to get a disgusting flatbread pizza at a bowling alley instead. Bad choice. Sat next to two rowdy drunk couples. One got up and left. Another one sat down.
Fitzy, do you have an answer for this question too? Because I love food crimes. I'm just curious.
I get like food crime, not as in like a literal crime, like soda stealing, taking a sip at the soda fountain.
Some like a food that you've eaten in the past that is like you're uneasy to say because it's kind of embarrassing. Like I'll give you an example. So when I was a kid, I would take Tostino's pizzas, the frozen ones. I would bake Arby's curly fries into the pizza, and then I would eat that. Like that is so fucking gross. That's disgusting.
I'll give the probably the worst one that I continue to commit is I believe that any food can be a breakfast food. So like a good cup of chili, had that for breakfast like last week. Beans, protein. It's good. It's good breakfast. I really believe it. So you could call that a crime.
It's definitely a crime. Beans for
Alex
breakfast.
asked me the first thing I learned to cook, and it's definitely got to be the English muffin pizzas that I put in the microwave when we had a perfectly good toaster oven.
Oh my god.
That's definitely a crime. That's grossness that I would not repeat. So that's one I would arrest myself for.
That is disgusting.
All of these things are things I would eat. If I could eat a burger at the start of every day, I would eat a burger at the start of every single one of my days with a Budweiser, of course. But I don't want diabetes in my mid-40s, so I'm not going to do that.
Would you go hand pressed or like the little McDonald's thing?
Ooh, depends on the morning I'm about to have. If I know I'm about to have a heavy day at work, thin little Big Mac patties, but otherwise like a Bubba burger, maybe ground beef pressed into my own patty, pan fried on the stove. Oof.
The irony of wanting less calories when you're about to go do physical labor and more calories when you're about to, I mean, there's lots of mind calories getting burnt in the game of RuneScape, I suppose, but yeah, irony there.
A wise man once said breakfast is to be eaten like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. But I don't believe that one bit. I want to front load all these calories and probably not even eat after 4 p.m.
Totally agreed. Now, Steve, we're going to transition from fun food crimes to, morally questionable actions.
Oh,
the people want to know, Steven, do you renounce your former actions in support of the Washington football team?
Let me answer that with a sound effect. No, I do not. Because back then they were called the Redskins.
Okay, do you renounce those?
No, I had a good time. Tickets were $9. Beers were $12. Hot dogs were $10.
The hot dogs were $10?
Yeah, they were like footlongs.
You paid $9 to get in the game, and they made you pay $10 for a hot dog?
I mean, if I paid $90 to get in the game, I would have been starving.
It was a preseason game, and I made a bet that we would be able to find, I think it was $6 beer, maybe $5 beer. I was very wrong. You can get that at MetLife.
Yeah, you can.
Down in DC, not possible.
Dude.
Oh, no, go.
When we went to the Broncos Jets game and they had the $5 Busch Lights, oh my god, dude. So
12 ounces?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
$5. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It was
we're going
good.
Back.
The only sporting event I've been to in the past 5 years that has 12 or 16 ounces was the Pats game. Everything else serves 24-ounce cans, which I got to say, I feel great. I feel great drinking those.
Let's move on. Without any knowledge in the standings, who do you think is going to win the Why Do Boys Play Games Fantasy Football League?
Well, I've heard some hearsay, so I know who's swirling the toilet bowl, but not even based off of that. I would probably have to throw out a Brandy, a Fitzy, maybe Chris Colby, but I never hear who's at the top. I only hear who is kicking the shit.
Okay.
So those are my top three right there.
Interesting. We'll touch on these subjects later.
Yeah, we won't even reveal it now. Good idea, Corby.
Yeah.
Oh, some suspense.
And my last question that I have for you about football is, I understand that you're a huge fan of Josh Allen. Why?
Why not? He's a handsome young man living the American dream. After last weekend, Minshew's really rising up those ranks, but Josh Allen won me my work championship last year, so I got to give it to him.
Okay.
You know. Plus, I didn't own a jersey, and all you guys have cool jerseys. I want to be part of the crew.
Fair.
Now, Steven, you're a man of the people, and the people are really getting into these NFT things, these non-fungible token artworks. And I guess by the people, I really just mean I follow one guy on Twitter who keeps retweeting stuff. It's Kevin Sidepack is really into this. But I need your help playing a little game, Steve, that I like to call NFT or hacker group. There are two groups of internet users who think they're smarter than you, coming up with fun little names. Each of the following is either an NFT or a hacker group, and only Adam knows. So the first one you're going to have to choose, the Gutter Cat Gang.
The Gutter Cat Gang?
Gutter Cat Gang.
That's a hacker group.
No, I'm sorry. That is a funny kitty NFT.
Of course.
Next, the Shiny Hunters.
Shiny Hunters has got to be a hacker group. Pokemon fans?
Nailed it. In May of 2020, they stole over 500 gigabytes of Microsoft source code from the company's private GitHub account.
Wow.
Next,
That's not good.
Fancy Bear.
NFT.
I'm sorry. That is a
come on!
state-sponsored Russian hacker group
I
responsible for, among many other high-profile attacks, taking control of Ukrainian artillery targeting software, rendering them essentially useless.
Well, if we're going to rank these 1 to 10 later on, that's number 1 right there. Good for them. Maybe, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, we've got other things for you to power rank. Next up is Paradise Trippies.
That's got to be an NFT, right?
You nailed it. That's a funny bunny NFT. Next, Cyber Partisan.
Cyber Partisan?
Cyber Partisan.
I want to say hacker group. I really do, but I'm going to say hacker group. Let's go with it.
You got it. It's a Belarusian hacker group that attacked the Belarusian government last year. They posted police violence on government websites. Next up, I've got Cyber Kongs.
I can see a Donkey Kong NFT in my head right now, but let's say hacker group.
That is a funny monkey NFT. Next.
Oh, this one's good.
Desperate Ape Wives.
Very clever.
I'm going to say hacker group because we already have the Insane Ape or whatever the hell they're called NFTs. Hacker
I'm
group?
sorry. It is the second funny monkey NFT in a row. And the last one to round us out here is the Digital Dog Pound with a W.
Oh, man. I'm having a bad streak here, so let's say NFT.
Oh, I am so sorry, Steven.
Oh, God.
That is a hacker group with their very own podcast.
Oh, wow.
Fun.
Is that all? Have they committed a crime of any sort? Exposed information?
According to their Wikipedia, they are trying to build a positive image of hackers. So no crimes, just positive hacking.
Gotta say, guys, very boring. Step it up. Plenty of Eastern European countries that have data ready to be compromised.
That's Fancy Bear. That's Fancy Bear's job.
Moving on, let's get to the power ranking section where, Steven, if you can see on your screen, we have a list of drinks. And we'd love it if you could take a look at those and rank them from worst to best.
I do. You want me to just freestyle this here? Start with my my number 10?
Start from worst to, yep, there you go.
And we will move them as you go along.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, you don't have to move the last one because it's skim milk. Bottom of the barrel. Absolutely disgusting. I don't drink cow's milk anymore anyway. Oat milk all the way, baby. Skim milk, no good. Unfortunately, it's in my house all the time. Let's see. Number 9, Corona Light. Not necessary. I don't care about calories. I weigh 135 pounds. I don't care how much I drink in terms of calories. So number 9, Corona Light. Nasty, disgusting. Corona Extra, also gross, but that's not on the power ranking. So
I like Corona Premier.
Oh, that's what it's called, Premier.
I love Corona Premier. It's so
it's
good.
Fine. Do a hot take here. We'll put Corona at number 7, 8, because I don't like Corona that much. Much more of a Modelo or a Dos Equis guy. Number 7 is Yerba Mate, because I've only had it like once. I have no sample size. It's okay. Number 6, Frappuccino. It makes me feel like my heart's gonna stop. It's beating so fast. Number 5.
Quick time out there. Are
absolutely.
do you not drink energy drinks from time to time?
Yeah, but not like that. Energy drinks. I'll drink a zero cal or zero sugar, zero cal. I just said I don't care about calories, but zero sugar, zero calories. Within the energy drink landscape makes you feel a lot better at the end of the 5-hour roller coaster your heart's about to ride. Number 5, orange juice. Not a big fan. I don't like fruit juice in general, for the most part. Number 4, black tea. No strong feelings either way. It's good.
I want to pause real quick to say that normally by the time we get to like number 8, people are really excited. We've gotten to number 3, and Steven is just cracking the take it or leave it barrier.
I hope so. He's got high standards.
everything below, like orange juice and below, is like I won't even buy those. They will not be in my fridge. So, like 4 or 5. That's the mid range here. Nothing special. Number 3, Bud Light. Not a huge Bud Light fan as far as it goes. Don't let the can of Bud Light in my hand deceive you. Much rather have a Budweiser. Number 2, tap water. Drink about a gallon a day, baby. Got to stay hydrated. Got to stay pissing. And number 1, black coffee. Of course, every single day of my life. 2 cups. If I'm laid off, I'm gonna have 5 cups, and I'm gonna be buzzing while I play Halo Infinite all day. It feels great. It's the only way to live.
I just learned a fact about Steve. I had no idea you were a black coffee fan.
Oh, only black coffee. I put coffee or sugar in my coffee on Sunday, and it was gross. I couldn't do it. All I tasted was sugar.
It's like my grandfather used to say, why ruin a perfectly good cup of coffee with milk? Oh, so.
Well, that's the thing too. A good cup of coffee. Keurig, no way. Black coffee from the French press with the bag of super dark I got in the cupboard. That's the good stuff.
Yep. No,
to all the football fans, maybe you'll be a black coffee French press fan after this podcast. We'll see.
No, my grandpa drank instant coffee, so his definition of good was pretty loose.
Was he a cowboy? That's some cowboy shit right there.
I feel like everybody of a certain generation just kind of wanted to be John Wayne, So yeah, sure.
Speaking of pilgrims, let's talk about the Thanksgiving Day game program.
I mean, we're a couple of weeks after that, but this is a good.
Oh shit! This is weekly. That's right.
That's a good enough segue from me. Okay. All right. So let's move on. In our first matchup in this wild, ridiculous, insane week of matchups, we had Adam versus Chris Colby, where Chris Colby takes the W. 50 and I are picking Adam, and the coin picked Chris. Chris, like the Bee Gees, you're just staying alive. That's my only note. I feel like every time I pick against you, you win. So keep it up. Maybe I'll pick against you this week.
Oh, spoiler alert, I hope you don't. But yeah, this one was the windiest Monday Night Football game I've personally seen. Stopped the miracle from happening here, and I was really rooting for this miracle. Of course, no offense, Chris, but Kyler, he's back for you at just the right time. You take sole position of 5th place. That's good. And Adam, I want to talk to you for a second. I don't know what to say other than sorry. I know that you care about these numbers going up, but maybe it's just that your team name is bad luck. Like maybe you should change your team name. Maybe, hopefully, please. Yahoo archives team names based on whatever they were at the end of the season. So like when we look back at prior seasons, we only ever see the one team name for the whole year. It's based on what you end it with. So you still have time to not be, I'm not going to say it. I don't like it. You still have time.
Adam, lots of NFT talk at the top of the pod. We're going to put a timestamp in the description. You're going to skip to there so you're not distracted for next weekend, okay? I have faith in you, bud.
Next matchup is Tyler, big bad points leader. Tyler taking on Mike, and Mike wins. Corby, Fitzy, the coin. We all picked Tyler. 1 QB, don't matter. That 1 QB is Zach Wilson, don't matter. Tyler's worst performance of the year puts him barely towing it into the danger zone in a win and you're in week 14 matchup against, well, we'll get into it. But it's too good to spoil. Mike, you usually don't have good fantasy luck, but Mike, you do normally have hope by about halfway through the season. This is already Mike's worst season. It's his only season with 10 losses. And a win next week would raise his worst moment up to 4 losses once again. Corby, would you like to hear Mike's win totals since 2014?
Yes.
He had 4 in 2014. And then from 2015 on, 6, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. He made the playoffs in one of those.
No, he did not.
6-7.
With 6. Oh my God. That is awful. Oh God, Mike, you suck. Holy shit. Mike, you won. You won with 1 QB and the highest margin of victory. You would have beaten half the league as well. Tyler, you had shit luck. Your team took a shit. I don't know. Steven, anything to add? What's your analysis on the league matchup that you can totally see?
Well, crushing defeat for the Jets this weekend. So I'm happy to hear that Mike has something to put in his pocket and take home with him. And we'll talk Minshew later on in the episode. But my boy, flying high. Sorry, Mike.
All right, let's move on here. We've got Chris P versus Brandy in the next matchup. Chris P takes the victory. Brandy packs her bags and goes home for the season. I picked Brandy. 50 picked Brandy. Coin picks Brandy. Better luck next year, I guess.
Yeah, the dream dies with a whimper on Brandy's season. I was really hoping for some crazy stuff to happen here in the last couple of weeks. But I mean, it was a bad week for Kamara to be injured and Tannehill to be on bye. It really kind of came down to quarterback play as Mike Glennon put up under 5.5 points. On the other side, Chris set his lineup when Adrian Peterson was still on the Titans, and he scored a touchdown for the Seahawks. So it's also bad luck for Brandy there.
Didn't even know Chris P was still in the league. So Brandy, you got beat by a phantom. sorry to say.
I'll take this next one here.
Yep.
It's Fitzy versus Colin. Colin got the win. The humans picked Colin, and the blind coin once again took Fitzy. Brandon Cooks, whack. Devin Singletary, whack. Picking up Zach Moss, whack. Spending $4 fab on Minnesota, whack. Laquan Treadwell putting up his best receiving yards ever. That's tight as fuck. but yeah, Colin wins in a landslide. It wasn't even close for a second.
I can't believe you started Laquan Treadwell and it worked.
And it was a good idea.
You got 10 points from Laquan Treadwell.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody's surprised on this outcome, but that is the greatest glory play I think I've ever seen in my life. Unfucking real, Fitzy. That's all I wrote down here. Was Laquan Treadwell.
You got the enthusiasm. Let's hope you can take the win next week, Shonne.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks.
We've got Taylor versus Chris Cloud in the next one. And Taylor wins again. Everybody picked Chris Cloud, including myself for the first time this season. Once again, we're dealing with a pissed off Taylor. He starts Trevor Siemian. He has Taysom Hill on his bench, who scores 20 points, and Trevor Siemian scores 0. He still puts up 150 points. Is fantasy football like just stupid or?
No, it's not stupid. It's partially random. That's what makes it fun. It's why I like kickers, because I'm a glutton for this type of punishment. Taylor didn't deserve the win, but he also deserved to win, because when you set your lineups and you just roll the dice. Taylor, he did not start the starting quarterback for the Saints. He also didn't start his choice of 20-point scoring quarterbacks. Jared Goff, you round it up to the nearest point. We're into the best 2 matchups of the week here. Man, David Montgomery looked great. Deontay Johnson made Big Ben look good. And I don't know if you saw this, Josh Jacobs hurdled a guy. So Taylor's 7-6 and gets to face Tyler this week, another 7-16. What I'm trying to say is that Taylor controls his dang destiny in week 14. On the other side, it's a really tough one here for Chris, but there's no better bounce back spot than the guy he's facing this week.
For a fantasy player who historically doesn't draft quarterbacks at the auction, Taylor, you knocked it out of the park, guy. You 80 yards to the end zone, baby, all rushing. You did great. Chris, don't take it too hard. I know he didn't have any quarterbacks planned, but you know what? You were busy. You were partying. I know. I saw you. I saw you drinking. You weren't. Your mind wasn't in the game, man. It's all right. Maybe next week. Maybe next year. Who knows?
And for games where people were putting their full attention on it, once again, the Monday Night Miracle got kind of stayed off here when Dawson Knox couldn't get thrown to.
Ugh.
But Corby facing Eric, everybody on Corby. Eric gets his 10th win in a row. And I'll be quick here. This was a clash of Titans. Eric's squad is the most dominant in the league by a mile, and he's going to look to make it a clean sweep of the league. 11 up, 11 down this week when he faces the only squad he hasn't beaten yet this year, Conky Dong.
Yeah, I was right. I couldn't set my lineup. I lost Melvin, and I picked up Deshaun Jackson for some fucking reason. What the fuck was I thinking? Yeah, no, Eric, I think without anything bad happening to your team, you're definitely going to be in the championship again. It seems unstoppable. Like, to be fair, I'm a little salty because you lucked out with Javonte Williams being an absolute boss because I lost Melvin Gordon. So that's the only salt that I have.
I got nothing on this one. Proud of you, Eric. Good job. Wouldn't expect anything less from you, guy.
And with that, let's move on to this week's matchups. For this, I didn't do any prep. This is gut feeling week because of last week. I'm gonna just wing it. First matchup here, we've got Mike versus Chris P. I also want to mention that instead of doing like a theme this week, I'm also bringing a fun fact to every matchup. So this fun fact, both of these guys live in Florida. I'm gonna take Mike.
You know, Corby, I had actually the same notes here. The consolation bracket starts a week early for these two, but we're still fighting for pride here in the battle for DeBerry. Mike's team is getting hot at precisely the worst time, but then again, there's no time like the present. I believe Mike has a poison pill for the doctor and pulls out a close one down in Florida.
You know, they live so close that there could actually be a chance that they go and physically fight each other based on my prediction. So I'm going to stay quiet here. But I think Chris's heart is in it a little more than Mike's.
Ladies and gentlemen, and folks of all walks of life, welcome back. The coin.
Now, I must admit, we're recording, and on the fly, I could not find the coin. So we are going with backup coin, and I want to show this off to the folks. The coin. It's a Sons of Aaron good for one drink token. So this is good as gold right here.
Okay.
Sons of Aaron is heads. And this coin wants Chris P. Our next matchup, you know, perhaps it's the second most irrelevant matchup of the week after the battle for DeBerry. It's Eric versus Colin, but it's also a great matchup and a potential championship preview. This one only really matters for bye week purposes. You know, if Colin wins and Corby, you lose, then he gets to have the bye. Or if he wins and outscores you or Eric by 50, he gets in for a bye. But hey, I'm going to pick to make things interesting here. And wouldn't it be interesting for Eric to sweep the league going into the playoffs? I think he gets it done here. The coin wants Colin.
My fun fact for this matchup is these guys stopped talking in high school because of Gears of War 2. I'm going to take Eric here as well. I think he sweeps the whole entire league.
Eric really has the luck of the Polish-Lithuanian, whatever the hell that last name is. But Colin's got a mind like a Texas Instrument. He knows exactly what he's doing and where he's going. There's no 50-50 choice, huh? I'm going to say Colin.
If you want to call an exact tie, I suppose you can. We haven't seen one of those yet.
That's true.
I'll save that chip for later on. Good for one drink, right? If I successfully call a dead tie, I'm going to the casino the next day.
Yeah, you should do that.
And you're coming with me, boys.
Hey. So in our next matchup, it's Corby versus Adam. And once again, it's another matchup where it doesn't really matter for playoffs. Corby, you get the win. You outscore Colin by, you don't let him outscore you by 50. You get the bye, right? So it matters for that. But this is a matter of pride for Adam. I love spoilers, Belargerin. You just can't get enough of spoilers. So Corby, I'm thinking you want this pretty bad too. Both the coin and myself are rolling with you, Mr. Co-host.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm going with myself here too. The fun fact that I have for this one is one time I slept over at Adam's house and we shared the same couch and we spooned all night long. He won't tell you, he won't say that, but.
Oh, I bet you he will. I'll ring it out of him. I'm going to go with Corby as well because Adam's mind is on collecting those DFS crown points so he can buy himself a new snowblower. Corby's head's in the game. He's ready to win.
In the next matchup here, we have Brandy versus Chris Colby. The fun fact I've got for this one is that both of these people really like pop punk music, I guess. I'm going to take Chris Colby.
Hey, I'm going to not go big, Brand. I'm going to keep this one simple. It's Brandy versus Chris Colby. If Brandy got the win last week, I'd be picking them here without a doubt. But I think Chris Colby's players are just going to want this win more, And in what could be a Monday night showdown with Kyler Murray needing to make a comeback, I think he can get it done. So I'm on Chris Colby and the coin going contrarian here and taking Brandy.
Let me just pull up a roster here really quick. Let me see these guys' rosters, see what I think. So I'm going with Chris Colby. Plus, I know he's got about 60 agility on his Ironman account right now, so he's ready to run. Sweet feet, baby.
Next matchup here, we have Fitzy versus Chris Cloud. This is a fun fact, not about both of you, but about Chris Cloud. He has not spent a single dime of his fab, so I think that we both know who is going to win that bet at the end of the season.
I actually have that note on my end. I'll let you finish first, but
I'm gonna take Fitzy though. I think that this is the get right game for you.
Corby, I really wanted us to not pick all the same people this week, but I have to do it. I'm picking myself because
baby,
this matchup is like at the end of the action movie when the hero and the bad guy are both so downtrodden, they're covered in mud. It's like the end of Rocky 2 with the final 15th round, Apollo Creed versus Rocky Balboa. We've taken hits. Got a couple of key buys this week. Both of our teams have starting running backs out. His is Nyheim Hines, and mine's Damian Harris. So it's, starters, sure, but we're on the last ropes. I'll tell you why I've got an advantage. We both need a quarterback. Both of us do. He's got a bye. I've got a couple buys. And since this isn't coming out till Saturday, I can tell you that I'm going to spend an embarrassing amount on Davis Mills. But Chris can blow his whole $100 fab to get into the playoffs. He just won't know it until after I've spent $43 on Davis Mills. So I really hope he doesn't realize that math and that I do get to start 2 QBs. Chris, by the time you're listening, good luck. I'm taking myself and the coins with me.
To reiterate your point there, Shonne, similar to the end of Modern Warfare 2, I see you as Soap McTavish doing the QuickTime event to push the knife into Shepard's chest. And I think you're going to come out on top. You're going to stop him from pressing the nuke button. The nuclear option. $100 be damned.
And our final matchup of the week, T squared. Taylor versus Tyler. And I got to ask, is this sneaky matchup of the week?
Without a doubt.
If Taylor wins, Taylor is in. It's incredible, but that's where we are here in week 14. Now, for my sake, I hope Taylor loses. For my sake, I hope Taylor starts Trevor Siemian again. But if he sets his lineup, I think he's got his most improbable of knockout blows in the bag. I'm taking Taylor this week. And the coin, going contrarian, picking Tyler. Who you got, Corby?
For me, this fun fact, I used to work with these guys at Big Y. With that in mind, I've weighed the options. I'm gonna pick Tyler. I think I still don't think that Taylor is going to set his lineup, and I think eventually it will hurt him. Maybe this is the week that it finally hurts him.
Well, Tyler certainly handles the deli meat and cheese better than Taylor ever handled the fish department, whatever. But I'm gonna say Taylor because if Taylor does pull this off, then we have it on record, and I can rub that in Cash's face every time we go to Tin Bridge, slap him on the belly,
So, jumping into my favorite segment, bets of the week. Let's give a quick recap to things we said last week. We had a quick matchup, Dawson Knox versus Mark Andrews. And I'll tell you, after Mark Andrews only scored 9 on Sunday, I was shaking in my boots. Didn't work out on Monday night. Dawson Knox had 3.4, and I got the win there.
In the bet that still has not resolved, we've got Corby versus Eric one of them missing their buys. Colin gets a win, and so now the hope is that Adam plays spoiler in week 14 and keeps me out of the bye week.
Another one that hasn't resolved yet, total rushing yards through week 14, Najee Harris versus Lamar Jackson. Corby took Lamar, and Najee extends his lead. He was up by 2. He's up by 18 now after outrushing Lamar 71 to 55 yards head-to-head last week.
In our last bet, we had total offense, Baltimore versus Vegas. Baltimore squeaks by with 326 yards versus Vegas's 310.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Derek Carr entered that game averaging over 310 yards passing per week. Come on, man.
I'd like to throw in a last-minute bet to you, the listener. It's in the name, folks. It's in the name. Jalen Hurts is going to get hurt next week at practice, and Gardner Minshew will step in yet again to lead them to victory. And if I lose this bet, send me a Venmo request. I'll send you $5. But if I get this right, I'm going to just start sending out $5 requests to every one of my friends list. Thank you very much.
What a great way to lead into bets of the week this week. So I have one bet, Fitzy. I don't know what you have. I can always like squeeze in between yours or whatnot.
I'll tell you what, I entered with 2. I only wrote 1 down. So I know I've got another one in my head somewhere, but I'll start things off.
Sure.
It's one that I talked about already. We got a few teams with bye weeks and injuries who need a quarterback. And there's only one quarterback currently on the waiver wire who's gonna score points this week. It's Davis Mills. I'm not gonna make a fab bet, Corby. I just want you to take the field against me. I think I will win the Davis Mills sweepstakes this week.
I think you will too. I don't even think anyone is going to bet on him. I'm certainly not going to bet on him.
Oh, well, do you need a quarterback?
No.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll scratch that one. I've got one here. So this past Sunday night, we saw the arrival of one Javonte Williams. So I'm curious what you think about this one. Total touches for Javonte this week, even like no like stipulation with Melvin playing or not. Let's put it at 17.5 over under total touches.
Who are they playing this week?
They are playing Detroit, I'm pretty sure.
I will take that over.
Take the over at 17.5. They are playing Detroit, yes. Okay, you'll take the over. I was hoping to take the over too. So what if we do like 21.5?
What if we did more total yards? Jared Goff versus Javonte Williams.
Are you serious? More total yards?
More total yards.
Yeah, I'll take Jared Goff, sure.
All right, me too. Me too. All right, I'll take the under on 21.5. I'll take the under on 21.5.
No, no, I won't take Javonte in that. That's bad. You'll take the under at 21.5?
Sure.
I really hope Melvin doesn't play. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
If Melvin plays, I'm screwed. But if not, it will totally be worth it.
Let me come up with one more on the fly here. It really comes down to we've got a few interesting matchups here in the league this week. I want to lay one down, Corby. I will bet you that Taylor makes the playoffs.
I don't think it will.
$5, Taylor. Set your lineup, baby.
All right, folks, let's head on into the mailbag, light mailbag this week. I think all of our comments got left in Santa's mailbox instead. Am I right? Okay, so here we go. Let's start. It was only from Chris Colby. The first one says, the streak is over. Chase kind of sucks now. Yeah, kind of.
I really wanted him to put up 13 points every other week the whole season. So that is, it's tough, but don't be sad that it's over. Be happy it happened.
There is a consolation though. We could now say he still does every other week double-digit fantasy points.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Consolation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our next and final comment, Chris. Thank you for listening. Some people thought that the season-long QB bet would boil down to the end, but I think it's safe to say that the winner is a lock. The bum bet gods are going to choose you, Fitzy. Good work. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Call him like you see him, Chris.
Dude.
I hope you enjoy this on your drive time commute.
Before we sign off for this week's episode, Steven, I want to thank you again for joining us, for your analytics and your thoughts on all of these matchups and everything. So I'd like to give you a platform to give shouts out or a plug or anything that you would like to before we go.
Well, thank you very much. I've had 8 years to think about what I'm going to say here. So I don't have much to plug, but I am trying to get my new foundation off the ground. If you have any Rockstar can tabs, the Halo Infinite series of cans, please feel free to send those codes my way. They're going to a great cause. We're sending them all to the children of Haiti affected by the most recent conflict. And they're really going to appreciate those golden assault rifle skins and the Warthog as well. And even the double XP, it's not great. The counter still goes down, even though you're not playing a game actively. But hey, you know what? We take them as they come.
That's very kind, Steven. Very kind.
Very kind. You're doing Master Chief's work. You really are.
Thank you. Me and the Clintons both.
And with that, we are going to close the door, and slowly walk away from this episode of the Why Do Boys Make Podcast. I want to thank you all again for listening and remind you to smash the like button and ring the bell because it really, really, really helps us.
Don't be afraid to leave a comment.
Yeah, don't be afraid to leave a comment. Steven, you should leave a comment.
Yeah.
I'll leave a comment. You're not going to know who I am. I go incognitus on YouTube, but I'll leave a comment for sure.
As always, we'll be back next week to break down all of the crazy shit that's probably about to happen. And my name is Corby.
I'm Fitzy.
And I'm a special guest, Steven. Gamers, come on! Let's hear it for the hamburgers.